It's not only Bungie's ambushes, but they are also grave ambushes. Yeah, and they can spawn the first column if we were just unlucky with what the Bungie zombie targeted. Combined with the absurdity that is the Bungie ambush that can literally spawn any zombie in the game right on top of our defense, we've seriously gone past the point of unfair this time. This is straight up if I've seen any before. My goodness. So, what's my plan to deal with this? Well, first things first, I'm gonna use Gloomstream as my attacking plant, as it no longer sleeps in the day, so that's an easy upgrade from Chomper. More importantly, I'm stocking up as many instant kills as possible. We can't buy roof cleaners from Crazy Dave until we beat this level, so just having a ton of squashes and potato mines in the bank is the best alternative we realistically have. But with space for only about a dozen instant kills, this is nowhere even near enough to deal with the number of zombies that spawn. It's just too many zombies, and there's practically not even time to process what's going on before we just straight up lose the game again. And it's the fact that there are so many zombies that straight up instantly kill our plants that makes this insanely difficult. No matter how many walnuts and pumpkins you have, just one jalapeno zombie can instantly wipe out the whole lane and cause us to lose the game. How are you even supposed to counter that? The answer is, you can't. Planter only gives a 3-second stun, and you only have one cherry bomb and one jalapeno against 20 different threats. Yeah, you can stop one Zomboni, but what are you gonna do against everything else that's still alive? You don't even have Flower Pot to rebuild any defense that is lost, and there are no more instant use plants we can even bring. Is this level just straight up impossible, or are we just getting ridiculously unlucky? Well, desperate times call for desperate measures. The only way we can even stand a chance is to utilize pause buffering, as we need some time to pinpoint where any jalapeno zombies are before they incinerate, so that we can kill them using our own jalapeno and keep our flower pots alive so we can defend ourselves. But again, how do you deal with, say, this football zombie, plus these newspaper zombies, and this Gargantuar? There are just too many threats to handle at once, and pausing does help us, but it's not going to help us kill 20 extra zombies, and it only delays our inevitable death. I spent over 2 hours on this level trying all sorts of variations to test the effects of different placements, but every time, without fail, I did not even come close to beating the final wave. I even tried Hypnoshroom to spawn camp some of the ambush zombies, but literally nothing had a significant impact on changing our fate, and I was dead regardless of what I did. Hell, I haven't even talked about how often we have to actually defend a grave ambush on the first column, which is just a 20% chance we straight up lose. There's literally no way to defend a zombie that spawns in the first column. We have no flower pots to block them off, and also no time to do enough damage before we instantaneously lose. Even pausing won't save us here. Yup, literally 20% of all runs were just automatic losses, and all I could do was just press restart and try to roll the dice again. And on top of that, I had to deal with game crashes as well. A run can just go down the drain because of spaghetti code. All in all, I ultimately could not find any way to get us close to beating level 5-1, even after my hours of testing. This was just the first level of the world, and I was already brought down to my knees by just one Bungie ambush. Surely, I was missing something that could allow us to actually make it past this level. Well, I came back the next day after having done more research and testing off stream, and I figured out what I had been missing all along. That's right, Spikeweed is no longer grayed out for roof levels, as it can actually be planted on the roof, being the only way we can expand our defense without having unlocked flower pots yet. In light of that, I immediately switched to a tall nut strategy so that we can block off zombies, and hopefully that will give time for Spikeweeds to kill them. Not only that, but I also needed tall nuts to maximize stalling every wave and get as many Spikeweeds as I could to counter the Bungie ambush. And as you can see, having Spikeweed just gave us a little bit of extra leeway and allowed us to kill off a few Zombonis on the Bungie ambush. Still, if there were too many Jalapeno and Jack-in-the-Box zombies, it was still impossible for us to protect our flower pots from getting incinerated into fine dust. But now that we have a way to actually kill some zombies without flower pots, all we need is just some good RNG to simply survive the initial drop of zombies and beat the level with Spikeweed spam after. And persist I did. I fine-tuned the strategy and my micromanagement skills with pause buffering each time, always slightly improving so I could eventually push over the edge and beat the level when luck was on my side. And eventually, I got this extremely lucky Bungie zombie that ended up spawning on the 6th column thanks to us having Spikeweed. For once, I was able to fill up my flower pots with the plants I wanted because I did not have to worry about a grave amber zombie spawning behind our wall plants. On the final wave, I was extremely patient, carefully pausing just to get into the mental space of preparing to defend the final wave, and I made absolutely sure we used our planter at the right time for maximum stun value against the first batch of ambush zombies, then carefully looking at where I needed to put down a new spikeweed when the second ambush arrived. I took my sweet time analyzing what I had to do here, and after realizing there were no jalapeno zombies but only one Jack-in-the-Box zombie, I made my easy decision to just use the jalapeno in the middle lane. And after another long pause to think about where to use our cherry bomb, I settled on using it to kill this ladder zombie in lane 2, as I didn't want any funny business with the newspaper zombie behind it that could potentially break through and kill us. Having now neutralized the threats in lanes 1, 2, and 3, I turned my focus to lanes 4 and 5, where Gargantuars were present. And my goodness, if I didn't have Spikeweed to slow these zombies down, then I would have literally lost to this Gargantuar in the bottom lane. And Spikeweed single-handedly bought us just enough time to get us back to another cherry bomb to finish it off. But there you have it. I spent more time than I did on the entirety of World 4 on just this one flag level. And indeed, I've managed to beat level 5-1. That was just the first level of the world, with many more to come. But that's for next time, where we'll be taking on even more levels on the roof. I can promise you these don't get any easier, so subscribe to stay tuned and click on the video card below to continue watching the next part of our journey in the 40 Crumbs mod.
I love Skibidi Toilet. The other day, one of my editors sent me a video by Scion where he reviews kids getting brutally killed in the most horrific ways possible. However, a few days later, we came across a similar video by Hilal where he also coincidentally reviews kids getting brutally killed in the most horrific ways possible. But upon further inspection, we realized that Hilal had potentially allegedly ripped Scion's thumbnail by zooming further into the picture to cut off the original text, and he just slapped his face on top of Scion's face because you can actually still see Scion's hair sticking out behind Hilal. And I think this was just a good satire joke from Halal. I think it was a joke. Or maybe it's not. But anyways, I wanted to join in on the joke and also review kids getting brutally killed in the most horrific ways possible. I'm just kidding. Pilot let his son fly the plane.
He let his son steer the plane, even though there were 75 people on board.
Oh my god, why would you do that, bro? Like, I understand he's your son and I understand you love him, but I don't care if he's your... I don't care if he's your... Oh my god, is that... Okay, that's not P. Diddy, is it? But anyways, I don't care if he's your son. I don't care if he's like some sort of pilot prodigy. I am not letting some random kid under the age of 18 fly a plane that I am a passenger of.
But the boy pushed hard on the controls, which turned off the autopilot.
Oh.
And even though a warning light flashed, the pilot didn't see it. Suddenly, the boy pushed the controls again, sending the plane into a nosedive.
Oh my god.
The pilot took over and managed to pull the plane up, but it climbed too steep, which caused the engine to stall.
Oh, you can still glide, you can glide.
The plane plummeted to the ground, killing every single person on board.
That is such an unnecessary death. But also, it's like the most unnecessary deaths of like the 75 passengers as well. Like, they're literally helpless. They have no choice who flies the plane, and then the stupid pilot lets his son fly it. I would be so pissed, bro. If I was on that plane and I died in that flight, I would be so pissed. Bro, I would sue that airline for all their money, bro. What is this airline called? Aeroflot. Bro, okay, this is not even a real flight. But anyways, I would sue that airline for every single penny that airline has. So I guess like there was some sort of like safety mechanism. So he wasn't completely reckless, so they put it on autopilot so that the son could pretend that he was flying it. But bro, don't keep your son in the cockpit. Keep him in like the back. Like, keep him on like in the furthest part of the plane. Keep him in the toilet, bro. If my son was on a plane and I was a pilot, I would lock him in the bathroom for the entire flight. Correction, the plane wing stalled, not the engine, because they flew so steeply. Yeah, I was gonna say that like I'm pretty sure you can still glide the plane down even if like the engine stalls or something. That kid is gonna flex his 75 kill streak in hell. Okay, you actually have to chill. Please do not say that, bro. The kid has a 75 KD ratio. That is that's a new world record. That kid now has a higher KD ratio than some like professional COD players, bro. He should join FaZe Clan. For anyone wondering, this was Aeroflot Flight 593 in 1994. Oh wait, so it actually was. It is called Aeroflot, bro. What a horrible plane name. No offense to the plane company. These potatoes killed a whole family.
A man walked into his basement, but he never came back out.
Because P. Diddy was hiding there in his basement and proceeded to brutally diddle him.
His wife went to check on him, but she didn't come out either.
Because P. Diddy was still down there and
He still had oil left, and so
he proceeded to brutally diddle her as well.
And their teenage son did the same thing. Finally, the grandmother went in after them and collapsed in the pile of bodies. You see, the family stored potatoes in their cellar, but as they rotted, they released a toxic gas. As each family member entered, they were quickly suffocated, killed by their own spuds.
Jeez, everyone, not a single life was spared? Even the kid as well, bro. He was only a teenager. Jesus Christ. I think that's like a real thing as well. I think that's why you're not meant to store potatoes in the basement anymore, or like you're not meant to store them like somewhere. Like there's like a specific thing they tell you not to do with like potatoes nowadays. But anyways, this sort of reminds me of like what I think a lot of like Asian sort of cultures. I know my culture, like so we sort of do this. I think it's sort of like when you're eating food like with the family, I think the oldest person is meant to eat first, and like it's not because, you know, like the oldest has like the most respect and everything. It's mainly because if the food is like has been poisoned, and like, you know, if your family has been targeted for like poison and stuff, it's so that like the oldest person can like, you know, like be the sacrificial lamb and die first to like in order to alert everyone that it's like poison, rather than if you let the youngest people eat first, then they will get killed by the poison. And so I guess the same thing sort of applies here. I guess in this situation, the grandma should have gone down there first. If two of my family members walk into a basement but don't come out, you know I'm not walking into that basement. Yeah, I think there's either two options here, two possibilities. It's either A, there are poisonous potatoes down there and they've been killed by the fumes, or B, there is a wild P. Diddy down there and they have been brutally diddled by him. The deadly prank of 1930.
They put a tack on her chair as a joke, and when she sat down, it pierced her skin.
Ooh.
She let out a yell before laughing at the prank.
Ha 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 ha, what a hilarious prank. Ha ha ha, now she's gonna get Tetris. I bet that pin was rusty. She's gonna get Tetris and die.
But a few days later, she began to feel sick.
Tetris?
You see, the tack actually had bacteria on it, which entered
the
her bloodstream through the wound. The infection quickly spread, causing severe blood poisoning. Doctors did everything they could, but unfortunately, she didn't make it.
Jesus Christ, I would be pissed off if I was her. How could she be laughing at that joke? Oh my god, it's just a prank, it's just a prank. No, that would be painful. That would be extremely painful. Has anyone ever sat on a like thumbtack? Those are painful. I've never sat on it before, but I've pricked my finger with it before and it's extremely painful. I thought she was gonna get Tetris from that and die, but I guess this is even worse. Bacteria entering the bloodstream. Bro, I bet that person used the thumbtack to pick their nose beforehand, and then that's how the bacteria got into her blood. Imagine the guilt the pranksters felt afterwards, bro. What do you mean the pranksters? You mean the manslaughterers or the murderers? I don't know what they were charged with. As long as the end result wasn't their intention, it's okay. Bro, are you stupid? Like, do you actually have brain damage? You actually might have brain damage. What do you mean as long as the end result wasn't their intention? Bro, of course, like, I've got like, what do you like think about manslaughterers? If you threw a rock off a cliff where people were rock climbing and like climbing up that cliff and that mountain, and you didn't intend to hit someone and it still hit somebody, do you think you can get away with that? It doesn't matter what the intention was. All that matters is literally the end result, like, as the result of your actions. Is this person okay? This person might actually have brain damage. The cat that killed 5 family members.
A cat jumped into a well full of animal waste in an Indian village, and its owner climbed in to save it.
Why would you do that? First of all, why do you have a well full of animal waste? And second of all, why would you climb into it voluntarily? Jesus Christ, bro. A well full of animal waste? Is this like a toilet for the animals? Do the animals not have their own toilets? Why would you just collect all the animal waste? Like, what are you gonna do with it? You're gonna, I don't know, turn it into like a magic potion and drink it? I actually need to find out, like, for what reason? Like, does anyone know? Okay, the comments will probably tell me, but like, for what reason would you need a well full of animal waste?
But he got trapped, and the waste had filled the well with poisonous fumes.
Oh my god.
When he cried for help, his son jumped in to save him.
Why would you jump in? Whatever, the combined brain cells in this shot is like negative. How are there so little brain cells in a single shot? If somebody asked me to help them from a well, why would you jump in there? Like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna, I don't know, like boost them up like in Super Mario? You're gonna let them bounce on your head like a Super Mario, bro? No, of course you would try find a rope, but now you've just nerfed yourself. You've put yourself in here, so now you can't even go and find a rope.
But he also got trapped.
Of course.
3 more members of the family tried to help, jumping in one after the the other.
Why would you do that? Are you guys all idiots? Bro, 5 family members and 5 brain cells. The combination is 1 brain cell. This entire family shares a single brain cell. You know what? This is what we call natural selection. Honestly, we wouldn't want these people sharing and like passing on their genes to like the next generation of humans. I'm honestly glad. Okay, this is a bit mean to say, but like maybe it's not the worst thing in the world that this family, this gene line got discontinued. Why would you jump in? Like, what are you gonna do down there? You're just gonna, I don't know, play Uno, play cards, play poker against each other? You're gonna play like tic-tac-toe, thumb wars? You're gonna play some board games down there just to pass time? No, of course you should go to the village and ask for more help. Ask for like a rope or something. Or even a ladder. I'm sure ladders were invented back then.
But they all got stuck in the well. Finally, a 6th family member entered with a rope around his waist.
Finally!
He was pulled out after the villagers heard the cries.
Bro, so it took 6 family members for one of them to think, maybe I should use a rope. Bro, they literally thought they were the main character. They thought they were gonna jump down there and save the day, but now they're gonna die there with everyone else. This is literally the definition of main character syndrome. They thought they were gonna save the day. They thought they were Superman. They thought this was gonna be the catalyst for their superpowers. They thought that if they put themselves into a life or death situation, they were gonna, like, their superpowers were gonna activate. Like, their superpowers lay dormant, latent within their body, but when faced with a life and death situation, the Alpha Sigma male unleashes itself. He thought it was gonna be able to fly out of there like Superman.
He was pulled out after the villagers heard the cries, and the other 5 men were suffocated by the well's toxic gases.
Jesus Christ. But at least 1 person survived. So, bro, literally 5 people died because of that stupid cat. But actually, I don't know who was more stupid, the cat or these people. How would you jump into a well full of animal waste? Like, what did they actually expect? Like, let's just try to think about this realistically. What could they have possibly expected? So they're gonna go down there and they're gonna solve it. They have brains. They have smarts. I'm gonna solve this. I'm gonna figure this out. Do they think they were gonna like run around the walls of the well like they were like Sonic or something? They were gonna do some wall runs like it was a video game? Or maybe they thought that they could find a secret passage down there. They can crack the code. Or maybe they thought that they'd be able to like do a tutorial of how he can climb out, or maybe like carry him on the back and rock climb it. It started like a superhero origin story, continued like a comedy sketch, and ended up being a tragedy. Yeah, bro, I swear they literally thought they were gonna activate their superpowers. Meow. I come, sir. 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 I use brain, sir. Yippee, I'm out. Meow, meow, meow. Runaway boy fell from a plane.
He climbed up into the plane's wheel compartment, hoping to see the world. But he didn't realize the wheel compartment door would open again in the sky. You see, he had run away from home because he wanted to travel, and when his parents caught him and put him into boarding school, he ran away from there as well. He snuck into the airport before smuggling himself onto the plane.
How do you just say that so casually? He's not like smuggled into the airport. Don't airport have really, really strict security? And so if a kid could sneak his way into an airport, I guarantee some random adult could sneak themselves into that same airport and plant a bomb at like the front of the plane. That is some horrible security. Imagine being like a passenger of that plane and some random guy just like kid plants a bomb there. Like you could literally hire kids to break into airports and plant bombs all over the plane if the security is that bad.
And as it took off, he thought he would finally get his wish. But as soon as the door opened again, the boy dropped out. And at that exact same moment, a man was testing out a new camera lens. He snapped this chilling photo, capturing the death of the boy and his dreams.
Bro, okay, that is so creepy. The fact that we caught it on camera as well, Jesus Christ. Like, the guy had good intentions. It's not like the kid was trying to, like, plant a bomb on the plane or something. He just wanted to see the world, just explore the world. But, like, at the same time, bro, I think the parents probably failed him. Like, if the parents knew that he wanted to explore the world that badly, why didn't they just take him on a plane on a holiday and so that he could actually be on a plane properly? But instead, they banish him to boarding school, like, away from home, and then he goes on, goes on the plane and just falls out of the plane. Maybe he wasn't like wanted in the first place. Like maybe his parents just hate him or something. Like based on the appearance of the parents, bro. Look at this dad over here. Wait, I can't even find it. Like look at his dad. His dad looks like he was like recently divorced. He looks like he loves beer more than he loves his son. For those wondering, this was Keith. He died on February 22nd in Sydney, Australia. Oh my god, bro. It's literally February 22nd right now as I'm recording this video. How many years ago was that? That's like 56 years ago. Damn, that's a long time ago. The mystery of the Sodder children.
A family ran from their burning home in the middle of the night. The parents and 4 kids escaped, but 5 children never made it out.
What do you mean 4 children escaped and 5 people never made it out? How many children does this family have? Jesus Christ, bro. The dad needs to chill out. The dad needs, bro, he doesn't need to reload. He does not need to reload. He just goes straight into the mother. Jesus Christ. 9 children. How could, bro, I can't even imagine. 9 children. So your family is 11. You have a family of 11. That is, bro, I can't even imagine that. How expensive would that be? So this would be, I assume, I don't know, like, I hope this is not like in like metropolitan. Maybe this is like on a farm. Like it would be a lot cheaper on a farm, right?
After the fire died down, rescuers searched the ash, but no remains were found. Experts said the blaze was so hot it completely cremated them, but it only burned for 45 minutes, which isn't long enough to turn bones into ash. Now, some thought the kids had been kidnapped, and others even claimed to see the children alive hundreds of miles away. The parents never stopped searching, convinced the fire wasn't the end of their children, but they have never been found.
Well, that's a pretty tricky situation then. So the facts are, so it burned for 45 minutes, but 45 minutes is definitely not long enough to burn it into like ashes and all that stuff. And so therefore they're kind of ruling that it, like, they couldn't have been burned. So maybe that they're 100% alive. I don't know. If you're trapped in a burning house and it's burned for 45 minutes and you don't see anyone go out, I'm pretty sure they're dead. I don't know, like, you can't really explain why the bones are missing, but I think they are 100% dead. Or the other thought I had was that, like, perhaps they didn't even have 9 children to begin with. Perhaps there weren't even 5 kids in there. Maybe they literally only had 4 children, and they hadn't, like, maybe the fumes messed with their head and made them, like, think that they had 9 children originally. Because I don't know whether I believe this. 9 children. Like, do any of you guys know a family with, like, more than 6 children, for example? Not even 9, but, like, 6 children. I don't know anybody with, like, more than 6 children. And I don't even think I've heard of anyone on the news either with more than 6 children. And so maybe they just didn't have those extra 5 children to begin with, and like they were just like imagining it, and then that would explain why there were no bones, because like there were no children to begin with. My first guess is that the fire was a cover-up for a murder. Oh, okay. You know what? That's a good one. That actually makes a lot of sense, because if it was a murder, there would be no bones. The bones would maybe be buried underground, and maybe if like, so they had 9 children and like they were, I don't know, struggling financially, they couldn't afford to, you know, keep 9 children, and so they had to do like a bit of like a culling, and so they chose 5 ones, the 5 weakest children, because of like natural selection, and then they just murdered them and kept the rest. Those 5 children possessed 5 animatronics. Okay, is this meant to be some FNAF joke that you are sick in the head? A deadly prank gone wrong.
We actually cracked the AI code and turned one cursed prompt into a literal, playable multiplayer fever dream. No cap. You need 0 skills for this. It's just pure unhinged physics and brain rot energy. You can even play with your friends.
Hilarious joke. That's hilarious. That's really funny. I like that joke. That's really funny.
But the homeowner inside was furious. He ran outside yelling and then jumped into his car. The teens ran to their car, but he chased after them in the street.
6?
As they drove
6
away,
people?
he caught up to them in his vehicle. Suddenly, he rammed his car into theirs, causing them to swerve off the road. The car hit a tree and ended up killing 3 of them.
Oh my God, so 3 out of the 6 of them died. But anyways, why are they trying to fit 6 people into that car? Is that a Range Rover? I don't think a Range Rover can fit 4 people in the back seats. They charged him with attempted murder, multiple counts of murder and attempted murder. Yeah, okay, so that guy got sentenced to life in prison. Bro, imagine having such bad anger management issues that you like get so pissed off at someone ding-dong ditching you that you go and like literally kill them. Like, there's no way he rammed into the car thinking that they would survive this. Like, oh, I'm just gonna teach them a lesson. I'm just gonna ram them off the side of the road. Bro, of course, if you rammed them off the side of the road, they're probably gonna hit something. Like, these people were teenagers. They only probably just got their license, and like, bro, they like honestly probably just got their license like that same year, and they were using their license to go around ding dong ditching people, and they didn't even get to like live life with like 1 full year of a license before they got killed. I'm glad he didn't overreact. Okay, bro, why does this have 161,000 likes? You think he didn't overreact? Okay, so he got ding dong ditched, he went into his car, and he rammed the car off the side of the road into a tree, killing 3 of them. Okay, great. I'm glad he didn't overreact. So glad he didn't escalate the situation and stayed calm. A true man. Okay, why, bro? 213,000 likes.